Is another wonderful Wednesday night sports delight because this is ladies' night. Oh, and shout out to our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Miss Williams.
Brought to you by none other than Smoooth.
That's whenever you see Joanne, not Joe.
Oh, the alter ego.
Roll now.
Look, I would have had this on if I had known it was going to be that kind of party, but apparently
I mean, and that's just my one excuse to look silly on the sidelines, and I'm totally okay with it because I'm doing my job.
All right, Coach Willis. Well, speaking of
new football fans, you got the Swifties that are all about football, and Travis Kelce's Instagram, I think his followers went up 300,000+.
telling y'all, when you get on this show on the Ladies Night, boy, I tell you, you are bringing people's careers to a whole nother level. I'm telling you. So here.
Everyone, welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl, Buddy. I'm glad y'all are here to join us for another wonderful evening.
And want the teams that want you back, St. Louis. I want that for y'all.
I was like, well, Brandon, does Michelle Smallman text you at 11:45 at night?
You let them know, right? No matter the time, it came through, right?
Yes, I thought that was really dope.
She seems to cause a buzz because you know what? Bad publicity, good publicity, they're talking about it.
So for some of these guys, they're like, even if I do win, it's not going to be enough for some people. So why don't I just go ahead and get the money?
Living the dream. I did all the time. I'm a dream catcher, right? So I chased the dream and I caught it.
Because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I had lost my mind.
Just kind of shed light, women coaches, like, hey, we bring it too. we bring it.
What up, what up, what up? Happy hump day. Guess what tonight is? Another wonderful edition of Ladies Night. And it's your girl, Bunny. I want to welcome everyone to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And for everyone that's tuning in on Facebook, please make sure you are putting all comments, likes, anything you want to talk about under the Platform Sports Talk Show. And if you want to stream us on YouTube, not a problem. Head on over to the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Platform Sports Talk Show. And there's a little icon up there called a little bell. And make sure you click on that so you will be notified every time we are live. Also, hit us up on IG under the Platform Sports Talk. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 314 Sports Talk. And also, anybody want to listen on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. Tune in to us. And it's not only the ladies' night on the first Wednesday of the month, but also we have the fellas on the man cave on the last Wednesday of the month. So please, you got different avenues, ways to find us. And also, just in case you can't catch us live, you know our producer hooks us up on the Roku channel. All our shows are archived. But again, make sure every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, tune into the Platform Sports Talk Show. We always have great guests, great panel. And of course, on the first Wednesday, yours truly, Bunny hosting. And I have another wonderful, wonderful panelist as always, as our producer calls it, the Boondocks. She is all the way in no man's land, tuning in, being a great guest. Great panelist, all things Blues, all things Cardinals, and everything in between. None other than Jobo.
What is up, everybody? Happy Ladies Night, and your girl made it through dry January, so now
That could be a commercial right there. Super Bowl ad right there, okay?
Michelob,
Right
AB, reach out.
I'm telling you. And again, I commend you and anyone else that was in this dry January. Congratulations, you made it through into fabulous February. Black History Month. So we starting our Black History Month with some great things, not just in sports world, but all different parts of our world. Of course, Black History Month is celebrated in the month of February, but technically you can celebrate every day. So many accomplishments that different Black athletes, artists, musicians, teachers, educators, doctors, lawyers, judges, and regular people have done. Anyway, Miss Jobo, I see your little subtitle there. Different.
Let's go. Oh, real quick before we talk about that, let's give Coach Willis some love. She's not feeling too hot tonight, so that's why she's not with us. She's gonna be watching, so prayers up. Hopefully you're feeling good by the Super Bowl, so you can enjoy that. I don't know if that's your thing, but I know I'm looking forward. We'll get to that later, though.
You know what? And if she is under weather, just not feeling well, I truly understand. I had somebody in my house, my little one got a little bit of the bug. And I'm like, is it because last week we had that spring-like weather and it's rolled over to this week? Is it because, we were freezing our asses off literally 3 weeks ago and here we are talking about it's a little hot? I mean, what gives in February that we're 50-degree weather, 60-degree actually. So I'm here for it, but I hope you do recoup sooner than later, Coach Willis. Especially because it's the season's winding down. We gotta get ready for some playoffs, baby. We gotta have your yay game.
Yeah. Shoot, me and Mia went out on walks twice this week. We played outside yesterday, so I'm not complaining. But that's probably why some people aren't feeling too hot.
Found out on Monday, not only was Sasha sick, but 5 other classmates, 6 people total were out on Monday. They start, of course, from the weekend. I said, so whatever it is, I boosted up on some vitamin C. I don't want any parts of it.
Yeah, and we drink those like emergency things too as well sometimes. So they're not delicious, but they help. But no, my that's part of my what's in my cup. So if you're ready, buddy, I'm ready.
Let's get it popping. Girl, I left my cup in the kitchen. Dang it. Let's get it popping with your cup. I'm gonna have to make a makeshift cup.
All right. Well, we all know beers back in my life, which is nice. Couple things down there, you see it. Jose Altuve is going to be an Astro for life. He's the greatest Astros player ever. Obviously that, it's saying a lot because Craig Biggio is my guy, and obviously Jeff Bagwell's a stud. But I mean, Jose Altuve, he's got all the hardware. He's probably one of the best humans in baseball. He's just, and his story, if you don't know it, I mean, he showed up to a camp, was told to go home his first day, and he showed up again, just wasn't taking no for an answer, and was just given an itty bitty contract, and here he is. He's like 5'6", and he's going to be the first second baseman in Major League history to earn up to $300 million. Throughout his entire career. But I mean, he's an MVP, a batting champ, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove. He's done it all. So I mean, as an Astros fan, this was amazing to hear. It's definitely the most obvious extension that was going to happen, but I'm just so happy for him, and now this definitely gives him a chance to hopefully get that 3,000 hits with the Astros. So excited about that. Staying in line with just the Astros and just baseball in general. Baseball's like a week away, guys. Like, we have pitchers and catchers reporting very shortly. I think next week it is. So I'm excited about that, even though we're not too pumped up about the Cardinals roster. Baseball's back, I mean, Pirates fans are excited. Sorry, Annie. So Pirates fans and A's fans and Tigers, which I do think the Tigers are going to be better this year, but even bad teams fans are excited. I'm just excited to get going. And then it's still staying along. And buddy, I want your opinion on this, because I understand where the quote's coming from, but it got underneath a lot of people's skin. Mookie Betts at their fan fest said every game is going to be the other team's World Series against us.
That's arrogant, cocky. But I mean, he's a competitor. Now, my thoughts on is that going to be true? No. But what other way to boost your team and have y'all all have that cockiness ways and having everybody ready to come off, with your head. So I'm here for it. I mean, they're going to be, or he's going to be the villain number one, but the whole team, yeah. I think it's going to be equivalent to how people are hating on the Chiefs now because they're tired of them winning, or they're going to hate on how the Warriors were when they had all those championships. Like, it's fine. I don't mind the cockiness because it gives more ammo for the opposing teams, especially hope the Cardinals kill them. Hurt them. Yeah. So I'm here for it. So you gotta always have the enemy out there, somebody that's gonna like make everybody mad, and he's supposed to be that person this year.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers, everyone, they're envious of them, There's that, but
they roster is like on steroids on paper.
I mean, yeah, no one's denying they on paper
they're steroids, like
on the best team in baseball, but on paper in the division series last year, they were better than the D-backs, and it didn't matter. Like, baseball is just the one sport, I think, that it really doesn't matter how good your team is going into the year, because there's 162 games. This isn't me trying to make an excuse for the Cardinals, because I'm not. We've all, the last year or two, I've been pretty negative on the Cardinals, and I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt going into 2024. But it is true that it's 162 games. It's the longest season of all sports, the most games. And I don't think it really matters on February 7th how good your roster is, because Mookie could get hurt going, in spring training. I mean, Gavin Lux got hurt spring training last year. And, Yamamoto, he could get hit around here in the States because he's not in Japan anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really just doesn't matter. And some people say, like, hey, he was probably saying that it's fan fest. You had Chris Bryant a couple of years ago saying how boring St. Louis is. Who wants to play there? Obviously trying to get the Chicago fans riled up. But I don't know. I thought it was a little annoying when he said it. But I'm just...
It works. He's supposed to be enemy number. Every team that people are going to be gunning for. I mean, they didn't win a championship last year, but did 2 years ago. So the fact is, in that roster, it's really hard to find the weaknesses. Your pitching, your offensive backs, your defense, hell, your 30th man, and they don't even have 30 on the roster at this part of it. Oh, I guess we count the pitchers. But my point is, the lowest man on the roster is still semi-dangerous. Like that's
Yeah, I mean they didn't win 2 years ago. They won in 2020, but everyone always talks about how that's the Mickey Mouse year, anyways, because they played 60 games, to get there. So I don't know. I just feel like they have a lot to prove still before we could sit here and talk about how.
But you know, with a lot of teams though, because we'll go with the NBA teams, NFL teams, college even. We go with what's on paper, but of course we know preseason is one, and then you got to play the game. So like I said, I'm here for it. I like the cocky and arrogance. So you're gonna have enough teams gunning for you, and either prove the other teams wrong, or see like, yeah, I told y'all. I mean, I'm waiting for him to say that because it's really hard again on paper. You got to play it, so we shall see. We'll revisit this mid-season, right before the Summer Classic for the All-Star game, and we'll see where they are.
I will say, I hope it's one of those things we had with last season. Dave Roberts going into the year. I don't remember it word for word, but he pretty much said, "Yeah, we're going to win the World Series this year." And then they got bounced. They got swept in the first round. So I'm hoping this is one of those things where, like, somehow, some way, they're like 10 games back at the All-Star break or something.
But look at what year is this? So back in 2022 with the Padres, we just knew they were going to come for the Dodgers, right? We just knew they weren't to be messed with. And then again, you can't, the Tatis and the steroids, okay, definitely didn't see that one coming. But then they fell apart even last year. It was like all this hype 2 years ago, and then they're back to square one. Barely making payroll, barely can do anything to all that hype. So this is what's supposed to happen. Get people excited, riled up, let the season come on, and need to see you true with what you're saying, that y'all are undefeated in the making. I know not literally, but you know what I'm saying, so many wins, or y'all are bust. So
yeah, shoot, I remember last year's Padres little fan fest. Tatis is like asking the fans, "Who do you guys want us to play in the World Series?" Like, come on, just stop. I know you're trying to get the fans pumped up, but whenever it comes to, whenever you're 20 games under, then you're like, okay, now people in today's world, they bookmark that stuff and they bring it back and make fun of you for it. But yeah, that's in my cup though, Bunny. What's in yours?
In my cup, this is my makeshift cup. Sorry, guys. Kitty size. You already know why. But NBA All-Star game is around the corner. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's not like March Madness, but kind of close because, basketball. Love it to death. So I'm excited to see the new floor they're going to unveil. It's supposed to be high power, high fashion, high something. Yeah, all this. Like, you thought the in-season tournament courts were pretty cool. Yeah, this is another level. So
I wonder if that's going to make them like nauseous or, mess with them a little bit, you think?
I don't know. Because like I said, with the in-season tournament, you had some of those courts painted colors like this. Now, it wasn't illuminated. That's the difference between illumination with lights and then just being the paint. But still, it's still cool to me. But if you're a true, player, you focus, honed in, what you're running around on and setting screens on and hitting threes up, it shouldn't affect you like that. But you never know. Like I said, these are lights, so that's a little different than paint. But
it's still going to look cool.
Yeah, but at least it's all-star. If this was like in-game, like I said, with the in-season tournament, when they did those floor differential paintings and stuff, I was like, okay, I liked it. But again, I'm not playing. I'm not the one going from a practice to the game floor looking totally different. But, they get access to this stuff way before we see it. So maybe not the illumination part, but with the paints that they had for their floor. So anyway, I'm excited just to see, of course, skills competition, 3-point contest, supposedly. Who's supposed to be in it? I forgot that fast. I see his face. Can't think of the name. Not just Steph, though. Dunk contest. Yeah, Dame's supposed to be in it. 3-point contest. Dunk contest. Jaylen Brown is supposed to be in it now. Who else? I mean, really, anybody that's gonna be in a dunk contest, whether they're a true all-star or no or not, I just want you to bring it and make it entertaining because it is falling off again. And it's like, for one, and this is probably gonna come back to this topic when we hit who runs this. The NBA All-Star players, they're in for the game, right? But for the other things with the competitions, you don't always have to have the headline names, but you have the people that have to bring it. So whoever's working with these dunkers, make sure it's somebody that is going to be real and say, look, it's not looking good for you, bro, or you need to do this. Like, it's hard sometimes to reinvent something like that because dunk's been around forever. You see different ways. Top 3 people between Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, even when Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon did theirs, that was dope. Like, it's not often that you get the kind that really, really sticks out. So when it's falling off to me, it's like, all right, what are y'all gonna do different? So the people that put their name in there, like, put creativity, entertain us. Again, this is all about entertaining the fans, please.
That's what the floors are for, Bunny.
That's not the only reason. No, I'd rather have you have a plain old school wood grain floor and you give me a court on a playground and you do some fabulous dunk, and I'm gonna be excited compared to all the ooh and ah. So maybe that is why they chose to change the floor, because they know some of this stuff is not gonna be brought. Like, people are not gonna bring their A game on dunking or skills.
Where's it at this year?
Indianapolis. Super Bowl, girl. We said with road trip. Bloop, bloop.
Right. So I know NHL's, they just had their All-Star weekend this past weekend, and their skills competition was different this year, where because usually everyone that's an all-star participates at some point. This time they had like 10, I'm gonna say 10 guys, and they had the main ones like McDavid and Austin Matthews, Barzal, like all these guys that everyone loves watching. But it was like, I don't know how the point system actually went, because we were at my aunt's house, but McDavid won because why wouldn't he? And he won $1 million, I think. So like, do they have any sort of point system? Because after like so many skills, and it was McDavid and Matthews and so, they were still in the competition, and then knocked the other guys off, and then he won $1 million. Is there something? Because I know like in baseball, the players on the AL, since they're the ones that usually win, they win some money. So is that like that with the NBA as well?
Do you win money?
Like in the competitions, at least. I'm sure they do in the game, because that's just how, I feel like that's every sport. But like, I think this is the first year that a player actually won $1 million during the skills competition during the NHL's weekend.
Good question. I don't know if they actually win money if they're winning like the 3-point contest.
Because I'm sure that would make them, want to try even harder. Like, obviously they're trying hard because it's for the fans. But I know, like, shoot, you could tell these guys were like, you could tell they were trying their damnedest to try to win that one skills competition this past weekend with hockey.
Well, I will say this: hockey players are not paid. At least the median and the top tier salaries of hockey players are still not on the level of NBA players. And I say that because when meaning the powers that be, NBA, decided to give the in-season tournament winners money in second place, I'm like, they're getting good money. Like I said, median, not the all-stars that are getting those. I'm talking about median play, not minimum salary, even though league minimum is $1 million. Still, I'm like, why do you have to throw extra money into that? It's like damn near chump change to them. For the NHL stars, I can see that because they're not getting these contracts. Again, median
NHL is probably the lowest paid athletes. Probably. I don't know what the MLS is. We're still fairly new to that here in St. Louis. But no, I mean, a hockey player like
$4 million. I can see him really, really trying to win. But again, when you see somehow the NBA All-Stars are playing these last few games, since why the NBA tweaked it, and now they're going back to the old ways of, you can tell they're not trying. And granted, They have a long season. The hockey players do too, though. Granted injury, I get all that, but it's like y'all are here just so y'all don't get fined type things. It's like the NHL players wish they could get $1 million as a signing bonus or something. So I get it. It seemed like that would be enticing, at least to me.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't think Connor McDavid needed $1 million because he's got so many endorsements. And
I'm about to say that's a spin-off.
He's Connor McDavid.
Yeah. Coach Willis chimed in. She said, hey, y'all. Hey, Coach Willis.
Coach Willis, hope you're feeling all right.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you, I'm waiting for a ladies' night where we get the whole crew up here. I feel like for the last couple months it's been someone's missing. Hey, Miss
I know. And our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Dub.
You know, Miss Dubs, I'm gonna need you to chime in on this next topic, though, buddy. Is that all that's in your cup?
Yep, that's all in my cup, honey. Let's roll with it.
All right, let's talk about what's our preferred Super Bowl spread. And as Smoooth told us before the show, we're not talking betting. Not trying to get in trouble here in the Lou.
No. And I wouldn't even bet correctly anyway. So this is not where you want to get that information. No.
I don't get gambling stuff, by the way. When I hear them talk about it on 101, I'm not good at math, and it sounds like all this weird, crazy math stuff, and I just
Like when they talk about the spread over under, I'm like, look, either you're getting the dub or they losing. Which one is it? Like, what's this over under in between?
Exactly. But Ms. Dub's spread we're talking about is food, the important stuff. Shoot. I'm just saying we ordered over 100 wings yesterday from Wingstop. That's going to be here. Okay. Obviously beer. We're getting our keg filled up. And then this is something different, but just because Lent and Mardi Gras stuff's around the corner, my aunt's bringing a king cake. If you guys don't know what a king cake is, it's the one with the little itty bitty baby in it, and you're supposed to have good luck if you get the baby. And then I'm gonna make some buffalo chicken dip as well. I like making it extra spicy. So that's what's on ours, and obviously, I mean wings. I feel like you had to eat wings and drink beer when you're watching any sporting event. Obviously, the Super Bowl.
Oh wow. Okay, sounds good. I'll say this, no judgment zone. So a lot of times when I'm watching the Super Bowl for the last few years, I'm on the comfort of my couch with hubby, kids, and pre-kids still within the comfort of our couch. Definitely tune into the halftime show. And before the fourth quarter is over, 9 times out of 10, the Super Bowl is watching me. Story of my life, right? That's why I know I'm getting older. Anyway, but when I am tuned in, and of course, if we're talking about 5:30, is the kickoff Central Standard Time, and whatever we have for Sunday dinner, and we just roll over a little snack here, snack there. So I'm the opposite of somebody that has a Super Bowl spread. But if I was to attend a party, which has been a while, I'm happy with a good old dip, chip, wing, all good for me. Alcohol, because the thing is, it's great Sunday evening. You already had this day off, but realize Monday you go to work. So like, do I want to drag?
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
Man,
I've already been fighting with myself in my head to see if I'm going to call it or not.
No, you start my PTO days, babe. It's only February. I tell people, look, I gotta hold on to them. I can't put it on the Super Bowl day after. I wish, but nah.
That's a coffee IV.
It's right here.
Usually, though, me and Brendan, it's usually we just chill at home and we'll have a pizza or something. One of my favorites was we just sat in bed and had Chinese food and watched it. That was different. I think that was one with another Brady comeback, but yeah, I mean, but wings, obviously. Miss Dub, she says probably be pizza and wine.
That's a different combo. Pizza and wine instead of pizza and beer. Okay, I'm here for it. Hey, as long as you comfortable eating and sipping, enjoying, relax, hey, that's what I do. And now what I don't do, because I'm not the biggest social media person anyway, but I know a lot of people treat it like it's live, like they'll be on Facebook, Twitter, all that as it's going on. I'm like, I can't concentrate and do that. I'm sorry. Maybe my brain is just set up differently now, but how do people do that? I can't concentrate. So people chiming in. Maybe if you do a text here and there and then look at it later, but that whole lot, I'm like, come on.
I could do that when like the Astros are in the playoffs on Twitter or X, but my tweets don't make sense because I'm just so ecstatic and crazy and like my hands are shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, did you see that? But no, I don't know. I'm excited though. It's weird. I was telling Brendan, I know 2020 was a weird year, but I do not remember the Chiefs and the Niners being in the Super Bowl against each other. I think it's like a Mandela effect thing, and it never happened.
It's a blur. Now you're thinking about it, because so 2020, by February 2020, unfortunately, RIP to Kobe. He died, the month before in January of 2020. But February, we heard of COVID, but technically the pandemic didn't hit the U.S. yet. So I'm trying to think when that Super Bowl. I remember I kicked it from Mardi Gras though, when a party bus with my friends turned up, because that following weekend the world shut down. So that was the weekend, I think, after the Super Bowl. So I don't know. It's a blur. I don't remember what happened with the 49ers and the Chiefs. That was their first or second victory for the Super Bowl. Do you remember? That was the first time they won? Second?
I'm blanking right now. First, I think, because wasn't the year before that's whenever Brady beat him? Or was that Brady and the Rams in 19? I don't remember.
Right, it don't matter at this point. I just know because Kansas City, they won the Royals won the World Series in 2016, because I have a few people enough KC talking mess. 2015. And then a few years later, the Chiefs won, and it was like, oh, KC just supposed to be all. I'm like, look.
Yeah, it's their first, Smoooth said.
Okay. I'm like, simmer down. At the time, we didn't know how great Patrick Mahomes was going to be. Okay, now he proved it. I get it, but I'm just sorry. This is an unpopular opinion, especially for St. Louis people. Because we lost the Rams, that means I'm supposed to hop on the bandwagon for the only NFL team in Missouri, because I don't do that. I'm so sorry.
Listen.
I was a Rams fan for St. Louis, and it was here. They gone. I'm not cheering with them in LA, and I'm definitely not hopping on the Chiefs bandwagon. I'm sorry. I could be a fair weather fan for some sports, but some team, but not home team. They gone, but I'm not getting on the Chiefs bandwagon. I'm sorry. Missouri, yes, we're one state, but Kansas City and St. Louis is two different cities, two different cultures. No, and no. Y'all can have that cheese. At least I'm not a fake fan. Because there's some St. Louis people that flipped, and I'm like, I'm good.
No, I'm the exact same way. Believe it or not, I'm bringing up her name. Taylor Swift is not the reason why I don't like the Chiefs. I did not like the Chiefs in 2020. Who I did like on the Chiefs years ago, and it was just because me and my brother would play Madden, is Priest Holmes. He was a stud. But like other than that, like I was never really a Chiefs fan. Why would I change it now? The reason why I don't like the Chiefs is because everyone in St. Louis just hopped on their bandwagon, and now they're really on their bandwagon because they're good. I'm
not even anti-Chiefs, but I'm definitely not pro Chiefs. Now, Super Bowl predictions, we'll get to that. But as far as again, I'm not hating on them. They're good. That's why I said the first time they won, Patrick, was he all this? I don't know. Second win. Oh, okay. I'm real with people. I'm like, I'm not that fan. Like, all right, they're winning. I'm going. I don't care if my whole family went with the Chiefs. Nothing personal, but maybe it is.
Real quick, do you see that picture of of Mahomes? That I don't know who posted it. So some NFL page posted it, and it was him with his shirt off in the locker room after the win, and he had a dad bod going, okay, and people are roasting him, and he was like, "Why y'all gotta do me like that?" He's like, "I am a dad." I don't know. It was really funny though. He was looking a little chunky, but I mean, he's winning ball games, so who cares?
Right, but somebody else got to find something to talk about.
Every time.
I'm gonna say, real quickly, since our producer won't be able to tune in like he wants to, he probably tuning in, but he got to be zoned in on his other hustle, which is being a DJ. So, whoever wedding you're going to, I'm assuming when they picked this date, they didn't know the Super Bowl. I mean, depending on when they decided to pick this date, because the Super Bowl dates are before the beginning of the following season. They'll tell you when it is, and they already know the cities 3 years in advance. So anyway, just tune in while you're not DJing real quick. Look to the side, look at your phone, see what's going on. So okay, well, it's a sacrifice. You do it for your friends, right? Anyway, so with that, Did we already do our Super Bowl predictions? I didn't
Not yet,
officially
no.
say what mine is. Okay. So with all of that, because I don't want people's takeaways like we're just some Chiefs haters, because you never know who we're going to pick to win the Super Bowl. But who you got?
All right. And something that also annoys me about the Chiefs that isn't even their fault is everyone this entire playoffs has been saying they're the underdog. I know they did not have a great year this year, but they're the Chiefs. They've been winning for 7 years now, pretty much. That they've been in the Super Bowl or in the championship game the last 5-6 years. So if you're like that, you're never going to be the underdogs. If Astros barely make it into the playoffs next year or this season, they're not the underdog going into it. They're probably the favorites. Like, that's something that annoys the hell out of me. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. That's sorry, T-Bone. that's what. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, he thought it was funny, but he's like, "Why y'all gotta do me like that?" But no, I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't think it's gonna be super duper close like I want it to be, but I want it to be by Chiefs by 3. I don't want the Chiefs by 3. I just want it to be by 3 points. And I think it's going to be the Chiefs. And Mahomes going to win the MVP, obviously. That's I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty obvious, but maybe I'll be wrong. I've been wrong on a decent amount of these. So I thought for some reason the Green Bay Packers were going to beat the Niners, and here we are. So
Okay. Well, I could say this. I can see the Chiefs winning again. And the reason I think people were saying they're underdogs because they had to do all their games on the road for the playoffs. And this is not normal for the Chiefs under Patrick Mahomes. So maybe that's why. But technically, I wouldn't think that either because Green Bay Packers during Aaron Rodgers' heyday and Super Bowl run, when they won their Super Bowl under him, they had all their playoff games on the road. Well, they were considered the underdogs at one point in the playoffs, but eventually people were like, no. That was the season when Aaron Rodgers was known for that soundbite at the beginning when they were losing like 2-3 games in a row. It's like, relax. And he proved it. And he took the show on the road to play out and they went all the way to the Bowl and won it. So that's why I'm like, all because you're a road team, if you're proven and got the players been on the road on many things. So when we were picking our playoff predictions, remember I had the Ravens all the way. And of course, Ravens lost to Chiefs, and here we are. So it looks like, the Chiefs would probably pull off this win. I can see it being close. The 49ers may think like people not giving them enough credit, and I can see that too. But then again, it's like, I don't know. I can see an upset. This would be a good upset, but I can still see the Chiefs like, I can see it being close though, Joe Bo. You say you don't, but I can see this one being close.
no,
But
like I'm hoping it's going to be close. I want something like we had, shoot, I don't even know what year it was when Russell Wilson threw a pick in the end zone. Like, I want it to be something like that, like something just crazy dramatic and exciting. We don't have any, favorite in this. It's like we're a fan of these teams. Obviously, T-Bone is, and apparently all of St. Louis is Chiefs fans, but like, I want it just to be like biting my nails over a teams that I give 2 craps about.
Right. I just want you to entertain me and just don't do the blowout because if there's a blowout by third quarter, like I told you what usually happens, Super Bowl is watching me by the fourth quarter. It's going to watch me by the third quarter. After Usher gives us the show of a lifetime. And speaking of, it's coming to St. Louis. I have put my request in for my birthday present. So, yeah. But I hope
whoa, it's only February and you're using your PTO time?
It rolls over in the summertime.
I'm messing with you.
It rolls over in the summer, so
Who did
and I'm talking about hanging on Joe Bo. Woo! If it ain't a death in the immediate family, I'm pretty much not taking off.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Who did the Broncos play when that was a just complete blowout? Was that the Seahawks?
That when Peyton won his last Super Bowl?
Yeah, oh my gosh, that one. I was so excited for that game. The only good thing about that game was Bruno Mars.
Oh, he
Bruno Mars kicked ass. Yeah, that was amazing.
Love a show, babe. Yeah, the last few I can say I've enjoyed. Yeah, Rihanna's was a little different, but it was cool though. It was yeah.
Hey, they were all bops, and even though she didn't, dance around all over the place, I
But
still
she
enjoyed
couldn't.
it.
She got that big belly, so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
Usher. I just seen the viral videos and the pictures from his Vegas residency. So I'm like, and he only got less time to do it on the show, big stage, but he's going to reintroduce himself because think about the generation that are the Swifties. They don't know Usher like we know Usher.
Right. That speaking of Usher, we got to talk about. All right.
Yeah. That's what he's gonna lead with.
You think?
Yeah,
no, I don't think he's
yeah,
gonna lead with.
yeah.
So I think the sound of it, and I feel like usually they don't have a full song to start off the show. I think Bad Girl would be a good one because I like how that song starts off, but not everyone knows that song. That wasn't just a song you would hear on the radio. So like, I feel like they have. Huh?
I heard it more in the club, actually. Bad Girl. Mm-hmm.
That was just a good album. But anyways, Love in This Club is a song that a lot of people know. I can see it kind of start off with that, like lights go.
But I say yeah, because I was thinking like when he bring it in slow, I was like, nah. I think okay, he got so many damn albums. Mind you, we're going back technically to the late 90s, y'all. So he got some hits and some bangers. So it's a lot, and he can't do it all. Not even if they gave him an hour nonstop. It's just so many. So to get people going and I think would do it.
All right, yeah.
That Confessions album came out in what, 03 or 04? I was still in college and we used to play the mess out that mug, boy.
Man, I need to find this picture and send it to Smooth, but let me tell y'all, this Usher poster was the very first poster I ever had hanging up in my room, and I was just in awe.
Coach Willis agreed with me.
He's thinking, yeah. I just feel like it's like the most well-known banger of a song by Usher that like it's gonna be like the last song or like in the middle.
Coach Willis, I'm here for it. I told you I put my birthday request in. The tickets for us regular folks gonna sell Saturday. Sign me up. At first, when I heard Drake was coming, he'll be here. I think was it Monday in St. Louis. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool concert, but not pretty. It'll be good. But I'm like with the age group Drake cater to. I don't know if I can handle that.
We don't need to mention Drake right now. Some weird viral ass shit going around with Drake.
Right. So I'm good enough though, baby. I know he catered to him. I ain't got to deal with some of that other. Woo!
I'm sending it to you, Smooth. Hold on.
Yeah, I just like it. Jerry got me some other stuff on, and then
what do you think he's gonna close with?
Video of Drake. I just saw the comments about the video, and I've been hearing two different sides. I'm like, okay, it ain't gonna be worth my time to look. Hey, what about my black business over here? I'm just going by the comments.
Brendan made me look at it.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he made me look at it. He was like, let's see what Drake working with.
I was like, let me finish. I was eating cereal. I was like, hold on, let me finish first, and then let me. All right, I sent Smooth the poster I had. It was at the end of my bed, little middle school Joe back in the day, and this was my first poster, and I probably had that thing for. This was before Jonas Brothers obsession. Usher, man, that poster right there, telling me you didn't have that.
I see why you had it hang. Okay. Usher Raymond the fourth. Get it right, boo. Okay.
Yep. So, Usher, man. Yep. That was my first love back in the day, before the Joe Bros popped up.
I'm telling you, Usher. That's what I said. Like late 90s, y'all. That she been bringing hit. He's almost. I'm telling you, because I almost get flashback when I'm like Usher from back then. And let alone in college, that damn Confessions album. I'm telling you. Anywho, that is a lot of songs to pick from, though, Joe.
Yeah, no, he's.
Concert.
She sweat. Yeah, no, me and my mom were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Like, man, there's just so many to choose from. Which ones I don't know. I feel like when Beyonce was that halftime show, not the one that had Bruno and I can't think of the group's name right now, but not that one, but the one where it was just her and then Destiny's Child pop up with her.
Mhm.
I felt that one was decently long, where she was able to do a lot. So I don't know how they decided, but hers was great too. But I don't know. I'm excited though. As soon as I saw those Usher, I was like, Mia, go do your thing. I'm gonna watch it, and we sit there like this the whole time.
Coach Willis said, "Good choice, Joe."
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I'm here for it. Oh, so before we wrap up talking about the Super Bowl and just NFL in general, real quickly, because once these playoffs hit, all the teams that don't make it usually do a little fire sale on their coaches. So now we got a new swing, a new cycle of coaches coming through, and apparently some of these owners and GMs is like, let's breathe some new young life into the coaching cycle here. So I don't know half these people's names. I just know the organizations. That'd be a good trivia. I do have the ages though, but I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. So on the left, first one, Seahawks. That's Mike McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
What do you consider him? Late 30s for a head coaching job? Here I am thinking I'm doing decent stuff in my life in mid 30s, and this man, whole NFL team to coach. I was like, damn, that's deep, but okay. Next guy is
that's the Titans, right? Yeah, Brian Callahan.
Wait, the second from the left is Titans.
Yeah,
but he has the Bengals and the pitch. So he was the coach of the Bengals before or something, or he used to be a coordinator for the Bengals. Like, I'm just curious because he had the Bengals logo. He was the offensive coordinator. Thank you. Okay. He is late 30s as well. Okay, 39. Next Panthers. We have, which was a surprise, Dave Canales for the Panthers.
He looks super young.
Yeah, but I say a surprise because the people were thinking the Panthers were going, I forgot, not Belichick. It was somebody else that thought, but no, never mind. I retract that statement. I'm mixing organizations. We'll say that coming from the Commanders. I'm thinking of the Commanders. So anyway, Canales, late 30s. Yeah. Let's see after the first season if you see what's looked at, Joe. Right. Something going in. Right. One thing, then by the end of the season, bags under their eyes, a lot more gray at it.
I don't know. You see how old Ali Marol got last year? He got super old.
I wonder why. Shoot. When you have to have a rough season and you can't get a lot of W's and you got to deal with the BS of the media, that's going to age you real fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next here we have, what logo is that?
Commanders, we got Dan Quinn.
That's the one that I was surprised. And I'm like, what, how, why? Like, any other W I'm missing? What would you do that for? What, nothing against him, I guess, but then there's something against, I don't know, because, I ain't a pro Cowboys. Now, that I can honestly say, I don't like Cowboy fans. That's why Andy and I get along so well. But what would make them go that route? I don't know. But
we got Patriots next. Oh, sorry.
No, that guy, though.
Gerard Mayo?
No, Commanders coach is 50, early 50s. So he looks like he's 50, damn near 60. So he's going to age out real fast. Now, who's the next guy, Joe?
Gerard Mayo.
Okay. Mr. Mayo, again, he's just a few years older than you. So late 30s, Patriots. I'm happy to hear that because they did take a chance on somebody that young and black. That doesn't happen too often, young and black. So hopefully he does well. I don't know if they're going to do about the quarterback situation, but we shall see. Now, you got Harbaugh on here. Now, that man is our grandpa age damn near, so he ain't that young. Not even close. And we'll see if the Chargers can not age him anymore. They got a lot of pieces to work with in the offseason, but that's a TBD if you're going to look older than 60. Probably be like 70 if they don't do well. And
Falcons, we got Raheem Morris.
Yes, I'm happy to hear them. He's late 40s. So he doesn't look that old for this picture. So
Falcons. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago when Annie was on. They could be an intriguing team next year. You know, if they went out and got a quarterback and whatnot. So,
and I'm happy for him, especially getting that because that was the biggest talk where Belichick was supposed to be landed, but I'm glad the Falcons did the Falcons did a 180, and they probably dodged the bullet. So shout out to them for that move. And last but not least, the interim tag was taken off of Antonio Pierce, and he was named the official head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
And I was happy about that because the players seemed to really like him. So
and resonated with him.
Yeah, so thankfully they listened to the guys that go out in the field and win ball games for you and kept them on.
Yeah, that was big, especially sometimes people don't get the interim tag taken off and made a permanent coach. And on top of that, again, he's mid-40s. The organization for the Raiders, for over years hasn't been the best when it picked coaches and the issues. Like with the Gruden disaster, I think they cautiously made sure they didn't make no mistakes big like that. So, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I guess I got to look over my life again. Like, damn, you weren't a head coach of any organization by the time you're 40, then you must be a failure because some of them are not even 40. So,
right. I mean, I'm not even 30 yet, but.
Okay. Well, that other coach.
I will be this year, though. I'm getting old, buddy. I'm getting old. My knees big.
This year. Dirty 30s. Dirty 30. Woo-hoo. I'm here for it.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get into some Joe Knows.
Knows a lot. We need to do some Joe Knows music.
All right. Yeah. We'll come up with something. I'm gonna do some hockey first.
Okay.
So right now, Smooth says stay tuned for that from my music. Oh snap!
You've earned it.
Anyways, Blues. I mean they were playing better there before the All-Star break. They lost the last game going into it, but they had like 4-game win streak. So as of last night, they were the last wild card spot. So. What's going to happen? Are the Blues going to try to buy? Are they just going to stay packed? Are they going to trade guys away? It's weird because this team has been so up and down. So, I don't know. I think the deadline is, it might be April. So, it's coming up here soon. Some exciting stuff.
Trade deadline or are you talking about the end of season?
Trade deadline.
Yeah,
it might be March. Might be March then. February, March, because April might be the playoffs. I don't know. It changes. Like Lent is super early this year. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and that's really throwing me off. So, let's see.
Trade deadline. So what I'm bringing up is kind of weird because NBA and hockey seasons run parallel. They're like a difference of 4 weeks max, and yet the NBA trade deadline is mid-February, and yet y'all deadline is March. So it's later than NBA's and y'all season's real similar. Their playoffs start in mid-April, so that's why I'm like, April for that? Wow, why they put it so late?
Yeah, but Smooth said
tomorrow. Okay, I said mid-February, early February. My apologies, but yeah, still it's coming up. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of transactions tomorrow. Stay tuned on the chat.
Yeah, the chat's probably gonna be popping tomorrow. And real quick, before we move on with this. There's a 0.00000% chance LeBron gets traded ever, right? I know that was like a big thing that was all over social media over the weekend. There's no way.
It's just a reason for people to talk. No, you're correct. I said it's for a reason people to talk. The LA Lakers is not crazy. They crazy, but they ain't that crazy. And LeBron does not want to leave LA before Bronny graduates from college or goes to the league, and before the other son gets out of high school.
And then there was like a
so
was it Stanton that posted in the chat with like how he's thought about playing for New York or something like that, like.
And that's why I told him, play all day. That remember, come on now, that wasn't even a fathom his imagination. Like that didn't even cross LeBron's mind. I guarantee you. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be wild. That would definitely shake the world. We got. It was announced yesterday that the Blackhawks are going to be hosting the St. Louis Blues in next year's Winter Classic at Wrigley Field. how the Blackhawks keep getting things blows my mind. Keeps getting awarded things, but here they are. They're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be cool regardless. I get annoyed by the Blackhawks because they're the Blackhawks, but no, it's gonna be cool. The Blues playing a hockey game in Wrigley Field. I'm excited. This is gonna be their third Winter Classic event, and I'm always excited to see what the jerseys are gonna look like. So that should be fun. Oh, all right. Then the NHL did announce a couple things on Friday night. One is that they're going to have a international in-season tournament type event, like NBA had this past year, and it's going to be between 4 nations. It's going to be the United States, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. So yeah, it's the 4 nations face-off 2025. And Miss Dubs, I agree with that. The Winter Classic is always really cool, and it's just fun. And no, I don't think so either about LeBron. I don't know anything about the NBA, but I know LeBron's not getting traded. Anyways, but the 4 nations face-off is something different. I was kind of shocked whenever I read about it. How they have it scheduled, I'll have to look over it again, but I feel like it'd be a little bit harder to do a in-season tournament type event for hockey than it would be for basketball. And they're doing a nation, so it's not like it's, at least again from how I read it, it's not like it's the Blues and 3 other teams facing off. It's, it's countries going against each other. So I don't know how that's going to work. And then moving forward to the last event that was mentioned on Friday was that the NHL players can start playing for their respected countries in the Winter Olympics again, starting in 2026. And it's crazy because the last time NHL players were able to do this was in 2016. And if you don't remember, that was whenever TJ Oshie, I believe, had the, the memorable everyone waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and heading to the bars, and TJ Oshie won it in a quadruple shootout. So it's gonna be exciting to see them in the Olympics again.
Quick question: whose idea was it to take the NHL players out of the Olympics? Like they usually in the past would let the NHL season go on pause so they can go play for different countries. So who stopped it from going?
I'd have to read it again, but I think it had something to do with just Gary Bettman and then money. Yeah, the commissioner, Gary Bettman, which he's the one that goes boo every time he steps onto the ice.
So is he equivalent to your man of fraud as far as commissioners that people hate?
I mean, Gary Bettman's been hated for a very long time, and he's hated literally by every single fan base out there. So, but Manfred makes his way up there for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Adding on to just Joe Does, we got some. I said earlier for my what's in my cup is pitchers and catchers report in a week. That is exciting as hell, and I'm just excited. Like as soon as the Super Bowl ends, you got MLB post on social media like just the ball hitting the bat and the ball hitting the glove and just the most beautiful noises in the world, and I love it, and I can't wait. And then we got a couple different things. One, last week, the Baltimore Orioles made some big news 2 days in a row. One day was the Angelos family was selling the team to like 2 billionaires, and Orioles fans and just baseball fans in general were rejoicing because the Angelos family has not spent a dime pretty much on that team since they've been there. It's been depressing. He's literally went out of his way to say like, well, there's no way we can, lock up Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and stuff. Like, pretty much we need to stop bringing up and drafting these young studs because we're not going to be able to bring them up. So then they sell, and then the very next day, they make a trade with the Milwaukee Brewers for Corbin Burnes. So one, that helps the Cardinals, obviously, because Corbin Burnes destroys us. And that helps the O's tremendously because their rotation was their biggest question mark last year. That's why they didn't win in the playoffs. Obviously, their bats kind of went cold too, but the rotation got hit around. The rotation has Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, Dean Kramer. Those are all young guys. Now they got an actual ace on the team in Corbin Burns. And I'm excited. Like, if you're just a baseball fan, you should be excited because baseball in Baltimore was a lot of fun last year, and Corbin Burns is going to make it even more fun. And then it just happened, it was announced earlier today that Netflix is going to be doing this MLB Hard Knocks type thing. I don't know if there was a name for it or not, so Smooth if you have that, but I don't think there's an actual name for it yet. But it's a Hard Knocks type thing for baseball, and the first team's going to be the Boston Red Sox. Kind of confusing because the Red Sox have done nothing but negative stuff this year, this offseason. So maybe it's a historic type franchise thing they're doing.
That's what I was thinking, because they have the fan viewership and the fan base, and like I said, historically.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is. But I was like telling Brendan before I came down here, is like the Lions would be the team that was on the Hard Knocks whenever they weren't good. So like, do they just go after teams that aren't great to start these things off? I don't know, but I mean, regardless, I'm going to watch it. It's baseball content. It's going to be on Netflix, so we have Netflix. I'm going to watch it, but I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird that they went the Red Sox route. And then lastly, for my baseball topic is just it's February 7th, and we still got like 4 or 5 decently big named free agents out there. What the hell is going on? I know a lot of people were saying with like the Montgomery part of it is it because the Rangers want him, but they don't know what's going to happen with their Bally Sports contract. But to me, I think that's kind of silly because you just won the World Series and you're telling me you don't have money to lock up one of the guys that got you there. Like that's always crazy to me. You got Blake Snell, who's a AL Cy Young and an NL Cy Young Award winner, Adam Duvall, Jorge Soler, Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman. Like, these are some pretty big names out there, and it's like I said, pitchers and catchers report next week. What are we doing? So I don't know what's going on. I know a couple of those guys are Boris clients, but I don't know. It's just weird.
But maybe, like you said, with the Bally Sports contract still up in the air, that has something to do with the spending. Now, we know the Cardinals, that ain't no excuse. When they signed that $1 billion deal, well, not billion, but multi-million-dollar deal a few years ago, they still didn't open up their wallets. So other teams can use that as an excuse. We know with the Cardinals, that's not an excuse because they still don't open their wallets when they had their money. So there's that.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like, I mean, all these owners are all million and billionaires, like, what is preventing you? Like, you're telling me there's not one guy out there like Duvall and Soler, I could see 100% doing a 1-year deal. You're telling me there hasn't been I don't know. It's just really weird. I just want to be able to. We already did our predictions with my family of what we think's going to happen. But I mean, if someone goes out there and signs a Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell, I might switch something up a little bit, So I don't know. It's just crazy, and that's something that definitely needs to change.
But real quickly, since it's just something needs to be changed, but with our Cardinals culture, adding Yachty, adding who's our new hitting coach, what do you think the Cardinals culture is going to be with that addition with him alone, let alone with the little bit of improvement in our pitching staff?
No, I mean, I don't know if you've ever listened to, there's a podcast that has Derek Gold and Ben Fredrickson on it. It's called the Best Podcast in Baseball. You can get it on Spotify. I'm sure you can get it on any other streaming service you want, but they just had an episode come out last week, and it's pretty much just talking about how last year, it's not to blame strictly the WBC, and I don't want to blame it either, but I think it's pretty obvious it had something to do with how the season went for a couple different teams. and we had the most players in baseball attend it. But a lot of the people that attended, you got to think, was Miles Michaelis, Adam Wainwright, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Like, those are, at last year, those were the guys. Those were the leaders. This year, you know, everyone's here. So Goldie and Nato are here. Wilson's here. You're going to have Yachty somewhere at some point in the stadium. Daniel Descalso is going to be there. You got guys like Lance Lynn, who was brought up through the organization, has since then played for other teams. He's back. Kyle Gibson, he's a very well-known leader. And then you got Sonny Gray, who's played for really good teams and, you know, who's gotten Cy Young votes. And he's kind of got that Bob Gibson type mentality, you know, like that's, I do think that stuff makes differences, and I do think you're going to see a difference this year. Not saying we're going to go out and win the division or, you know, have a deep playoff run, but I think that's going to help 100% because spring training, it is important. You know, you get there, you get to hang out with the guys. It's not just about how you're playing in spring training, because last year we were the Grapefruit League champions, and guess what? We weren't too good last year during the regular season. So the games don't really matter. As long as you're there bonding, you're learning how these new rules are, because that's another thing. Last year, Mo and Ali kind of just nonchalantly went into the season of like, hey, we're baseball players. We'll figure out these rules as we go. No, that's not how it goes. You know, that's not what the other teams did. But no, I just think the mixture of guys that are on the team, even though they're older, I think is definitely 100% going to make the team better. And you forgot your favorite player of all time, Matt Carpenter.
Matt Carpenter, yep.
But no, I mean,
leadership, does he bring that seriously, though? At least with experience in the league, leadership. That's why I asked about the culture with Descalso, with Matt Carpenter. And of course, the vets. Do we see a culture change? It may not equate to wins, but do we see the nonchalantness or not the edge that we want to see people out there doing and make an extra effort to get after the balls and stuff like that? Will we see that?
I think you're going to, because that's another thing that was brought up in that podcast is he didn't just strictly say, oh, it was just this guy, but a couple names got brought up whenever we talked about attitudes, or not we, but how they talked about attitudes and culture and, you know, how you want to be, is Jack Flaherty and Tyler O'Neill. Those types of guys, they just weren't, something changed with them, that it just was not good energy and attitude with them from the get-go. And maybe they regret it now, maybe not, but that there's a reason why they're not here, pretty much is what Ben Fredrickson was saying, is there's a reason why we didn't offer Flaherty a deal, or that we traded him. There's a reason why O'Neill was traded, because, like, let's talk about Tyler O'Neill for a second. He was literally given the starting center field job in spring training, and then the second series of the year, he wasn't hustling. Like, I don't know. It's just, and I've gone back and forth on that scenario, that, you know, that whole Brave series, but regardless, Ali probably should have done it differently. But I don't know if you watch Xavier Scruggs' new YouTube channel. He talked to Ali about that pretty much. Ali has these conversations with you in the clubhouse, and, you know, whether he should have or should have not mentioned it the way he did to the media, whatever. But O'Neill says he's over it and just wants to move on. But there's a reason why Tyler O'Neill's not here anymore. So I think, you know, weeding out guys like that and then bringing in leaders, and like I said, Lance Lynn and Carpenter, they grew up in this organization. They know what the Cardinals want. So, you know, and also Kean Middleton, the reliever that we got, he's the same way. I mean, he's one of those guys that's, you know, he's not gonna just put up with the, you know, he's got some edge and fire to him, and I think he's gonna definitely help out as well.
Okay, well, another TBD, but like you said, we're a couple weeks away, so by the end of the Grapefruit League, if we don't win, I'll be happy because you said we won last year. Look how our season went. So let's hope they don't win the Grapefruit.
I hope we lose every single game in spring training.
Exactly. Exactly. You're funny.
If that happens, then I'm about to be going to Illinois to bet some money. Just kidding.
Let's go. Come on this side because you were popping a lot of cans because they just were so depressing to watch. It's almost like last season was a blur. It was so bad I forgot they were that bad because I really wasn't even tuning in anymore. Like I'll do that sometimes, like with some of the Mizzou Tiger men's basketball games with Slough Bills. I would tune in at the beginning, then turn it off. I didn't do that with the Cardinals because I know they suck so bad. I'm like, let me just put my eyes on
the most depressing Cardinals baseball season I can remember. Like, woof. Like it was so bad. That's like the only sliver of positive confidence I could give us going into 2024 is there's no way it could be worse. There's literally no way it could be worse than it was last year. You know, a last place team in this division. Right. Also, Nolan Arenado's on Instagram now. That's wild. No one ever would have thought. No one ever would have thought. Because he's very to himself.
Okay, well let me try to follow him, see what good news he can get us while he's down there in spring training. Give us a glimmer of hope. Let's see. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new segment called We Run This. And of course, like I said, this is ladies' night. Of course, we run it. But specifically in this instance, if we were the commissioner of any major sports league, how would we do certain things, right? And if it could change one thing, maybe a couple. So for me, I hinted at this earlier. If I was NBA commissioner, I would run the NBA regular season, specifically the in-season tournament differently, and definitely the playoffs. So in-season tournament, as I stated earlier in this segment, we were talking about players and all-star. And the incentive for the in-season tournament, the winners and the second place got monetary prize. I forgot the dollar. Like I said, the league minimum in the NBA is $1 million. And the median salaries are still a few million, couple, 2-3 million, right? What incentive of 500,000, 400? What does that incentivize if they've already making so much more? So if I'm running things, your incentive would be if you win the tournament and you make the playoffs, you get a first round bye. They even tweak it and say, hey, you may get the first round bye, second round automatic home field advantage. All right. And your second place, give you home field for your first round. Something like that. But definitely no more money. And when it comes to playoffs, they already did the changes. You just the best 8 in each conference. It's not by division. But what I also would think about is this whole load management thing. We know the more players are out there on the court and in the TVs, people are seeing them, he plays more money. So people are saying there's too many games, right? So if it's too many games, then that should change to where you either incentivize, hey, players, once you get to the All-Star break, if you play like all your games, then yeah, you can either pick and choose what games you want. Not pick and choose, but let's just say like the last 4 weeks, you don't have to play, you're not penalized or nothing like that. Because more than likely, hopefully your team is going to the playoffs, you're resting, we're not going to penalize you. Or either if they're not going to cut down the season, then switch it up to where you're going to use, I don't know, the in-season tournament to be at the end of the season. And then that'll be another way for the top 4 teams, each conference. You automatically go into playoffs, and then the other 4. They kind of do that now, but I just, my whole thing, the in-season tournament is kind of stupid. That's what I'm going down to. So I would just get rid of it. I know they were trying to mimic off what the Euro soccer teams do, but I don't think it meshed well in this first year. But I heard they're going to bring it back, so we shall see. But Jobo, what you got?
Mine is, I mean, it's all money related, but money related. So like with baseball. I think there needs, me and Brent talk about this all the time. There probably needs to be a cap and a floor. Mainly, and this is the main one, is at least a floor. Like, you should have to spend at least this much money. You know, like you have teams out there like the A's and the Reds, the Tigers, the Royals, even the Orioles who won 101 games last year. You know, like you should want to spend money on players. Like, why are you not, like, again, like I said earlier, that these are millions and billionaires and they're just not wanting to touch their checkbook whatsoever, and that's annoying. The Pirates, that's another one. Like, why are you not spending money? You have a beautiful stadium, fans that are desperate for winning, and they just don't spend money. I hate that. And then hockey's kind of the same way. Hockey, I think there needs to be a cap at least, like, or I guess even a floor. I don't know. Hockey players just don't get paid enough money like all these other players do in other leagues, and it sucks, you know, being a fan. Like, I don't know how the Maple Leafs keep signing all these guys to 8-year contracts, but like we sit here in St. Louis and hear Army talk about all the time, like, hey, you know, we can't, we won't have enough money for that. And it's like thousands of dollars, not millions of dollars like all these other sports. So that's my main thing. If we have to come up with another one next time, I don't know what I'm gonna say, because because that's like my main complaint with baseball and hockey, honestly. Like, even the Cardinals, we know the Cardinals can spend more money. Why are they not spending more money? Like, there's glaring
I have
needs
another
that
one
we
you
all
would come
see.
up with.
Hmm?
I have another one you would come up with for MLB, because I'm progressive baseball and you're stick to the baseball of the 80s. So you're commissioner, you would definitely change it to go back to the 80s.
I mean, you do realize the 80s is like kind of what they're doing now with like the base hits and the stolen bases. Like, that's the 80s is, you know, the fast pitching.
There's no pitch clock
Right
still.
now.
There is now. The bases are bigger. I don't know how much of an effect that made.
Which ups
different.
the stolen bases. I will say with the pitch clock, though, multiple Cy Young winners have come out and said they think that's why there were so many injuries this past year. You, like, half the Rays rotation had Tommy John last year. There's a reason to that. Like, it's because they're being rushed. You know, and then they made it even shorter for this year. Instead of 20 seconds, now it's 18 seconds. Like, why did you make it even shorter? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I just think there's some things you don't have to change. Like, that's probably one of them, because I think literally it was proven probably by these Cy Youngs that have been doing this their entire lives and been getting paid millions of dollars to do so, is that people are getting injured because they're being rushed to throw a ball unnaturally 90 miles an hour. Just saying. That's probably, so out of all the rules I don't care about, but that's one I think needs to be changed.
It may be one of those TBD, because as you stated, so we're talking about, this is 2024. Somebody that came into the majors in 10 years ago, 2014, that is a big adjustment, and their arms is programmed a certain way. But if you have somebody first in the majors only a year ago, that adjustment could be made. Now, it's still not the same, because if you're coming straight from the minors to this end, but you still got room to change. If you're somebody 5 and 10 years set in your ways, yes. So that's why I said it's still to be determined. You got one season of data. You're going to need at least 5 years of data to realize how many other pitchers' arms fell off because they were rushed. But they weren't used to that action over the years until now. And then how many of them who brand new into it aren't having any issues. So that's
Well,
why I
it's
said
like,
TBD.
obviously you got guys coming up that's not going to affect them because they've been doing this as free training for so long. But I mean, how there's no in the middle for guys like Max Scherzer and Corbin Burns, who's another one that has said the same thing before. I'm just saying, like, probably more than half the league has been doing it one specific way their entire lives in the major leagues. And then you got the younger guys coming through the minors who, have been, taught a certain way. But I just feel the same thing with football. I feel like college football rules sometimes are different than NFL rules. Isn't the goal to make it to the NFL and play by NFL rules? Why are they different rules? I just feel like in every single league it should be the same. But if the MLB's been doing it for, so long, you're changing it. Now these guys are getting hurt. I don't know. Like, in 5 years, whenever Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander and Corbin Corbin Burns not gonna be gone in 5 years. He keeps popping up because it's the main guy we talk about in my family chat right now. But like, like Goldies and maybe Freddie Freeman's and like big, well-known guys that have been in the league for 10 plus years already. They've been doing these things a certain way. They've been getting paid really good money to do a certain way. I feel like it's hard to just change.
I'll say this. It's the short end of the stick they're getting, but somebody's got to be collateral damage on it because it can't be just flip the switch and everybody's on board when it comes to pitching and the clock. So I get it. They're getting short end of the stick, unfortunately. But Major League Baseball, if they're going to be progressive and trying to revive a younger generation, they got to look for the next new young star. So they don't mind if the ones who the household names are always injured now. They say they'll take that L on that if it's going to make the next generation get on board to what we're trying to do and speed the game up to get more young eyes. That's what I said.
Hall of Famers can keep getting hurt. It's fine. They're
exactly.
Hall of Famers.
Exactly.
The people that we go to the stadium to watch.
It's effed up, but it's real. Again, money is the reason. It's not the wins that they don't be. Is do they want the money to get more eyes on their game? Just like with the NFL.
Every sport, I said we need them to spend more money, but then it's all about the money. So it's all about the money. Everything's about the money.
Yes, and you're talking about NCAA said for NFL for their college football rules. Why isn't it the same as NFL? What? Excuse me, NCAA says everybody is a student athlete. It's about being a student first, not an athlete trying to get to the next level. That's not what they're concerned about. No, ma'am. Of course, they're not all eyes on
one of those guys.
That's not what they promote. They're students. Remember.
Every single one of those guys, though, you got these year 8 seniors or whatever the hell they call them, trying to make it to the NFL, and they've been playing this way for 8 years, and now they're going to go to the NFL, and it's going to be different.
Right. The people who didn't get 8 years get the short end of the stick, but those few that get it, I mean, that's what I said. It's somebody's always going to take an L, and you can't use the word fair because life is what? Not fair.
You know what, though? That's another thing. Why do you have these grown-ass men playing 8 years of college ball? Wasn't there just one in Miami or Florida that's literally like, I said 8 to be funny, but I think there's literally just...
It is, but that's like because some of, not that particular guy, but few people, and it's not just headline names of schools. When the COVID happened, when the NCAA, when the pandemic happened, and they let people get an extra year or 2 of eligibility. So all of other people get short end of the stick where they couldn't get that basketball. They just didn't get to really do March Madness.
Well, I want an extra year or 2 of stimulus money.
Get that,
No, not funny. Okay.
That's who it is. He's a tight end. He's going to play an unprecedented 9th season. The NCAA granted McCormick extra years of eligibility after he had several seasons ended by injuries at the University of Oregon. 9th season will be played at University of Miami. Man, he must got somebody at the NCAA in his back pocket or got some dirty that was sitting up under the jail because ain't no way. 9 seasons? Now that is truly professional collegiate athlete. And no way, I don't care if you're talking about season-ending injuries where he couldn't. Sir.
Some NFL players don't make it that long.
Sir, that's professional collegiate athlete. No way to sugarcoat that. Sorry. Anyway. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, anything else on your mind, hon? Any other things in Joel's world?
No, you got me all wild up on that last segment right there, though.
You said you had nothing else. I said, oh, no. That Joe ass. I had to correct that for you. No.
I know, but if we're doing this next ladies' night, I just used mine, so I'm going to have to come up with something else now.
It'll be some trust between now and a trade deadline or a room on the NHL meal. You're going to have something else for us. Don't worry.
Probably.
Too much sports out there. Don't worry. Yeah, so we'll have another segment on that for Ladies Night next month, which is, of course, the first Wednesday of every month. And just to get this quick announcement out regarding our show for next week on the Platform Sports Talk Show, in honor of Valentine's Day, which is on Wednesday the 14th, we're going to push the show up a day to Tuesday, February 13th, still same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, all our viewers and listeners, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesday, February 13th, we will be on. Again, if you're on YouTube and you are subscribe to the Platform Sports Talk Show, the bell will go off and let you know it's going off on a Tuesday because we will be on 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, we are on X, formerly Twitter, at 314 Sports Talk, and Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show, and Hot 365 Radio. You know what? It's always hot. Please, please, please keep tuning in on there. And if it's not the first Wednesday of the month, it's the last Wednesday. It's for the fellas, the man cave, the men hold it down. Have always great, good topics to talk about, different and everything of sports. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about Twitch. We're on Twitch, and all our shows are archived on the Roku channel as well. So did I miss it? Oh, if you have any guests that you would love to have us have on the show, or if you know them, tell them to reach out to us. Email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. All this wonderful production was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. So shout out to our producer. Again, Feel Better, Coach Willis, and our lovely Miss Chalet. Hopefully we'll have her back on the show soon. And when Miss Annie wraps up her collegiate classes, we'll have her back on as well. But until then, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful week. And look at Jobo's distant uncle. Look at her distant uncle in the locker room.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't put him as your close uncle. That's your distant uncle, Patrick Mahomes.
You're put up Mahomes. I gave you OG Ursher with his shirt off and beanie on, and you're showing Dad bod Mahomes up there. Come on, give the lady something to look at before the night ends.
The Usher poster versus the Uncle Patrick poster. You tell me. Hey. Literally night and day.
Right.
But if you want to
there
see
we
more
go.
great posters, ladies and fellas, tune in to us first Wednesday night of the month. Thank you all. It's been great. It's been fun. But someone has summoned me that I have to run. Tell everybody. Look. Tell everybody night. Thanks for tuning in.
Put that pinky in your mouth.
Next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to tell them bye-bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good night, everyone. Till night-night. Say night-night. Night.